the ridges are the furrows, and here we have the darker ridges and the lighter furrows. They're not always, the ridges are not always going to be thicker than the furrows, so it's just not always going to be that way. And here we don't see any acrosyringium. And here we have the parallel ridge pattern with the darker brown ridges and the lighter furrows. And sometimes you can see it on hemangiomas. I've seen it on the feet, and you can also see it with blood. So the parallel ridge pattern by itself is not diagnostic of melanoma. So I don't know around the world if you have Ruffles potato chips, but sometimes you might not, or if you're a beginner, you might not remember ridges are good or furrows are good. So, but one of the residents at the University of Miami came up with this: if you eat a lot of Ruffles potato chips, because Ruffles have ridges, especially cheddar cheese and sour cream, that's not good for you. So Ruffles have ridges are bad. And then another resident came up with furrows are fine. So if you have trouble remembering which is good or bad, you can remember that little saying. But here's the parallel ridge pattern. So the high-risk criteria in the palms and soles, the parallel ridge pattern, multi-component global pattern. If you see a lot of benign patterns, and if you see a lot of colors, that's red flag for concern. So of course, dermoscopy is very helpful for the nails. So melanonychia can be good or bad. So if you see uniform color bands, spacing and thickness, those are the clues are good. And high-risk bands, the different shades of color, spacing, thickness, and loss of parallelism. So dermoscopy, of course, you know the history. Is it one nail? Is it multiple nails? The history is important, but here are irregular bands. They're different thicknesses and different colors. And of course, the Hutchinson sign is always a red flag for concern. Here we have melanoma with irregular bands. And here we have loss of parallelism. And then what that means is the bands are irregular because the malignant melanocytes are producing pigment irregularly. So it's called loss of parallelism. The bands are irregular. And you might confuse this with the fungus because there are funguses that produce bands, but this turns out to be melanoma. So this is irregular bands here. You wouldn't see a fungus that's so straight. And here we have a nice melanonychia with the uniform. So you want to look for those criteria. So dermoscopy for hemorrhage, you see purple color and you see little blood spots, and they can also have uniform borders and filamentous areas at the end, purple color. So some criteria for